What's up, future officers? My name is Tejas, and I welcome you all very warmly to episode 17 of iLead. We have a lot of important issues today, so let's quickly start discussing all of them. In our first episode today, we have this protest which has become very huge in Maharashtra, which is called as the Maharashtra Reservation Protest. So this has been in news ever since this month started itself. And from the past 4 5 days, there has been hunger strikes also which is going on, and a lot of traffic disruption and a lot of the movement of the whole city, the financial capital of Mumbai, has come to a standstill. So let's quickly discuss what is this Maratha reservation all about. Now, you see that Maratha reservation is not something new which has just cropped up yesterday or day before yesterday. It's been there even before the Mandal Commission. Even before the Mandal Commission, you see that this Maratha reservation is there. And after this Mandal Commission was enacted, the Marathas, they started asking for reservation. Now, if you see the total population of Maharashtra, the Marathas constitute about 32% of the population. And in this, majority of them, they live in this place called as Marathwada, hence the name of Maratha, Marathwada region, which is mainly a rain shadow area. Rain shadow area very similar to, you have Bayalusime in Karnataka, you have Vidarbha, you have Godavari district in Telangana. So all of these places are all rain shadow areas. Okay. So why are they rain shadow? Mainly because of the Western Ghats. So because they are rain shadow, what happens? There is not a lot of agriculture which can grow here. There is not a lot of industries which can come here. There is not a lot of economic prosperity which can happen here. So, however, even though there is no surplus production in terms of agriculture, the Marathas are politically very strong. And to just demonstrate how strong they are, if I have to give you guys a small example, in the total 20 chief ministers who were in the total 20 chief ministers who were part of the Maharashtra regime in the total political circle, 12 of them, 12 out of 20 chief ministers are from the Maratha. 12 out of 20 chief ministers are from the Marathas. Okay. Now, apart from this, we see that they are an agrarian community. Agrarian means they mainly are agrarian in nature. They believe in agriculture. Okay. And apart from this, they have their roots linked to the famous Maratha king. Who's the most famous Maratha king, which resonates as soon as you hear the word Maratha? It is Chhatrapati Shivaji. Okay, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who they all trace their lineage with. Now, having said so much about the Marathas, now they are demanding an inclusion. They are demanding an inclusion in the OBC quota. Okay, they are demanding an inclusion in OBC quota. Okay, and apart from this, you see that socially and economically they are backward. So politically, they have very good reservation, they have very good representation, but socially and economically, they have been backward. So because of all of this, in 2018, what had happened? The Maharashtra Assembly had passed a bill. Now, according to this particular bill, they had told that they will from now onwards give 16% reservation. 16% reservation to whom? To the Marathas. In what? In education and in jobs. Okay, so in education and in jobs, there will be 16% reservation. Now, the Bombay High Court in 2019, the Bombay High Court, they told that they upheld this particular judgment. They told that giving reservation to the Marathas is absolutely correct. But however, 16% is a little too much. Now, how much should you give? According to the Bombay High Court, even though they upheld this particular reservation for Marathas, they told that let us give 12% reservation for education and 13% reservation for employment. Okay, so this was the deal here. But however, in 2021, the Supreme Court took this up to review. In a famous case, this case is called as Lakshman Rao Patil. Lakshman Rao Patil versus State of Maharashtra. Versus State of Maharashtra. Now, under Lakshman Rao Patil versus State of Maharashtra case, the Supreme Court, they told that this entire thing of this reservation for Marathas, it has to be struck down. There should not be any reservation to Marathas. Okay. So finally, why did they suggest this and why did they strike it down? They had their own reasoning. They told that this was against the 50% cap which was given by the Indra Sawhney case. Indra Sawhney case, you must all know, is that particular case which told that the reservation which is to be given should not exceed more than 50%. Right? So, based on this, there was another commission again. Now, this commission was called as Justice Gaikwad Commission. Very important that you remember this. Justice Gaikwad Commission. Now, in this Justice Gaikwad Commission, they said or they told that right now, appointed to recommend about Marathas. Okay. So, what is this Justice Gaikwad Commission all about? Justice Gaikwad Commission was mainly appointed to make recommendations about what? About how much reservation the Marathas have to get. Okay. But there was a lot of accusation on them stating that they did not do a proper survey. They did not do a proper survey. They did not take proper data regarding their backwardness. So because they did not take and constitute proper committees and surveys to illustrate the backwardness of the Marathas, there was a huge uproar that proper reservation was not given to them. Okay. In 2024, in fact, you can see that there was another bill which was passed in the Maharashtra Assembly. You can see in this particular picture itself. Now, according to this bill, they stated that 10% reservation should be given. Okay. But this, they told that it is against so many articles. This is against Article 14, it is against Article 15, it is against Article 17, it is against Article 19. And without collecting proper data, all of this was done. So there was all of this allegation against them. So in 2023, 2024 and 2025, there was a lot of protests and a lot of activists who again revived this particular movement. And in this backdrop, right now, okay, this is the current affairs which you should know. Till now, whatever I've said is all the background relating to it. So right now, there is this person called as Manoj Jarangwe Patil. What is this person's name? Manoj Jarangwe Patil. So Manoj Jarangwe Patil, he is right now leading the movement for reservation. Okay, is leading the movement for reservation. And because of the protests right now, he's gone on a hunger strike. Right now, he stopped it also, but he had gone on a hunger strike. And he has stopped it because the government and the courts, they have agreed to most of the demands of whatever he had stated. So because of this, in the meanwhile, there was a lot of traffic jam. The shops were closed. The daily street vendors could not operate. And the whole city of Mumbai or Bombay had come to a standstill. So the Bombay High Court, they got very angry about this whole issue. They told that the Marathas, whoever have gathered in the ground and they are now spread across the roads and not allowing any activities to function in the city, they have no right. They have no right to stall and make people's lives, go into doldrums. So this was the thing. So they asked all the people who are activists to leave Mumbai. They in fact told Manoj Jarangwe Patil to leave Mumbai, and all these things happened. Now the main demand over here with Manoj Jarangwe Patil was that he demanded that Marathas should have access to something called as Kunbi certificate. Okay, Kunbi certificate. So Kunbi certificate is a certificate which is given to another caste which is actually belonging to Marathas. Now he wanted Marathas also to be included in the Kunbi subcaste itself, right? So that Marathas will end up getting more reservation. Anyways, so this was about this. Now moving on to the next important news for today. It is about a brain eating amoeba. Okay, so this brain eating amoeba, you can see that it initially began in Kerala, but it is slowly and slowly spreading to such an extent that more and more lives are becoming casualties to this particular venomous viral disease. Okay, so venomous is a metaphor here. Do not take it into actual this thing. So what is this brain eating amoeba all about? We'll try to see about this. So where is all of this happening? This is happening in Kerala. Like most other cases, the first COVID case in India was detected in Kerala. The first Zika virus case was detected in Kerala. And we have another disease which is starting its origin in Kerala. What is this? This is the brain eating amoeba. Okay, so because of this, there is a spike in meningoencephalitis. Okay, there is a spike in meningoencephalitis. So meningoencephalitis, in short form, you can tell that there is like brain fever. Okay, so there is this particular bacteria called as fowleri. Naegleria fowleri. So this Naegleria fowleri, it is a free living thermophilic. Thermophilic means more, it needs warm water. Okay, the free living thermophilic amoeba. Free living thermophilic amoeba. Where is it found? I already told you what thermophilic means. It is found in fresh warm water, and it is found in soil. It is found in swimming pools. Okay, so all these places, and wherever usually the swimming pools are poorly chlorinated, or stagnated water bodies are there, in all these places you will find this particular bacteria. And because of this particular bacteria, when people go for a swim or when they are in contact with this particular water, this affects through a naval passage. This affects through the naval passage, and it goes into the body through something called as an olfactory nerve. Now, through this olfactory nerve, it directly affects the brain, and because it is affecting the brain, it will go on to form something called as meningoencephalitis, which is nothing but brain fever, which is caused by amoeba. So amoebic meningoencephalitis. So one thing, let me just clear you. You can have questions like this in prelims. That is it caused because you are drinking water? No, it is not caused because of drinking water. Is it caused because of person to person contact? No, it is not caused by person to person contact. Okay, so this is also not the reason. So once a person is affected, sir, once a person is affected, how many days will it take for this particular bacteria to go into a particular body, and what is the incubation period, you can ask? So the incubation period for this is about 1 to 19 days. 1 to 19 days. So in the short term, what would happen in the short term? In the short term, you see that usually it will lead to nausea, it will lead to headache, and it leads to fever. What happens in the long term, sir? Long term is not 6 months, 1 year. Okay, it is maybe after 20 days itself. So in the long term, what usually goes on to happen is you start having stiff neck, where you cannot even move your neck. You start having confusion. You start having seizures, which is very, very important. Seizures. Okay, you start having hallucination. Okay, this is something where brain fever takes its this thing. Finally, you might even go into coma. One thing I would like to tell about this encephalitis is that 98% of the times, 98% of the times it causes mortality. That is, chances of surviving this is the rarest of the rarest. You can almost never survive this. Okay. Next, one more question will come. Usually, you can take it from the mains point of view that, sir, why always you see that Kerala is only the major place where all these diseases are being outbursted? Okay, why Kerala? That becomes an important question of discussion. Why Kerala always? So, number one reason is the climatic conditions. Okay, so climatic conditions, you can see that the first thing, you have high temperature, then you have high humidity in these places. Then apart from this, if you see the geography of Kerala, it is a place where there are many lakes. And what are lakes? Lakes are nothing but stagnant water bodies. Stagnant water bodies. Then you have environmental conditions. What are the environmental conditions? Because of global warming, you have rising temperatures. You have rising temperatures. Next is the fourth one. You see also there is a cultural aspect also to it. What is this cultural aspect, sir? You might be a little surprised now. Cultural aspects here mainly refers to the water festivals. Okay, the water festivals which are there. Like for example, you have boat race, Nehru boat race, etc. All of these are festivals which are linked to celebrations in these backwaters or stagnant water bodies. Okay, so with all of this, these are certain facts you have to know about the brain fever which is coming and which is gaining more and more prominence because of how fast it is spreading. Now moving ahead with the next news. Singaporean Prime Minister, after he's been elected, has visited India for a 3 day visit. Now, this particular visit had started in September 2nd. Now, you can see that it is almost coming to an end, wherein this particular visit has benefited us immensely. Now, how has this benefited us? You can see that certain high level agreements have been signed. High level agreements in what sector, sir? You can ask me. See, high level agreements in number one, finance. Then, what else can Singapore cooperate with? It is digital innovation. Okay, then you have skill development, and then maritime cooperation, space technology. Okay, so coincidentally, it's something which is very surprising is that it's been the 60th anniversary of India and Singapore's bilateral relation. Okay, anniversary between India and Singapore's 60th. There is the 60th anniversary of India and Singapore's bilateral relations. So him visiting us on this 60th anniversary is something again which is very special. Now, if you see the geographical point of view, Singapore is part of something called as ASEAN. ASEAN means what? Association for Southeast Asian Nations. Association for Southeast Asian Nations. Now, over here, there is something called as Little India in Singapore. Little India is a small area inside Singapore. Now, Singapore itself is a small city, and that city itself is a country. Now, that is how small it is. Now, if you take Bangalore, a little more bigger than Bangalore is Singapore. Okay, but however, in that there is one area called Little India where a lot of Tamilian diaspora is there, lot of Kerala diaspora is there, and they represent the culture of India in this particular city. Okay, now apart from this, there is also something which our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he has launched in virtual meeting itself, that is called as Jivika Nidhi. Okay, now what is it called? Jivika Nidhi. So this Jivika Nidhi is rural women entrepreneurs in Bihar. Rural women entrepreneurs in Bihar. And over here, our Prime Minister has launched something called as Bihar Rajya Jivika Nidhi Sak Sarkari Sangh. Okay, I know it's a very big name, but you have to try to remember this. So, but basically, what is all of this? So, Jivika is, as you must all know, it is a very famous self-help group in Bihar, one of the largest self-help groups across the country, where a lot of women have been mobilized. Now, under this one particular, section, and this by creating this more fund, what is basically happening here is that the women here, the rural women here, can take loans at a lower interest rate. Okay, so with this particular thing we cover the four most important current affairs of today, and I hope that you had fun learning. I'll keep meeting you guys almost on an everyday basis, bringing what's happening every day in these episodes of iLead. Let me know how it is benefiting you in the comments below. Until then, this is Tejas signing off. See you and have a nice day.